Welcome back to Sympathy Lab and my next session here on Outdoor and Sports Media Days in Munich. The next guest is someone I really admire in his work. He did so many things for the outdoor industry and now being here as a country representative for Icebug. Dear Matthias, hello.
Hello, Kim.
In our pre-conversation, for me it's important that you underline and that you take yourself a minute to explain who you are, what makes you as a personality tick and what you did already for the industry. So stage is yours, introduce us to what Matthias Basedow is.
Well, first of all, I want, of course, to thank you for hosting me and for already all those nice words in advance. I hope I can deliver.
I'm sure.
I now working 15 years around in the sports and outdoor industry. And I would say I'm with Icebug now for 6 years, and one of the core things is that we really want to change how we do things. I had before the pleasure of working with an outdoor association, and it was a really great time. And then at some point as well, I said oh, come on, I need to do something more. And I had the pleasure then that David approached me, who's our CEO, and he's a real change maker personality.
David, sorry. Do the underlines. It's David Ekelund.
It's David Ekelund. He's a really great guy, and he at that point said oh, come on, our industry needs to change. There's a lot of great things about our industry, and I think our industry is in the change. We all understand that we all value nature, we love nature, and you can see all those trends are coming around in society. We have still growth in our industry. We have given that we come through a supply chain crisis, we have in a way outstanding figures. But the core thing is our industry needs to understand that we still need to change. We need to be a real change leader. Our audience, our consumers, they love the nature. And we as well need to deliver and make sure that the next generations have the same opportunities as us of enjoying the nature.
I know how humble you are, but I need to step back to what your life and the 15 years in outdoor industry are, because the association you worked for, you were in a role of putting things together, of combining dots which were not obvious, and you made the path for what the European Outdoor Group currently is. In terms of when we got to know, there were a lot of hurdles, but also a lot of perspectives. And I think this is important to understand, to really listen to you on the right ear, because what you are or what you're thinking is the overall picture of outdoor and shoe industry. And this is how we should listen to you. So it's not only the Icebug perspective, what you will deliver us in the next 10 minutes, but a little more holistic picture, of course, in the combination of good personalities. Is that a right summary?
I think obviously collaboration is definitely a key thing, and it was always part of my past. And I would say obviously I had the chance to work with really other great personalities, including Mark Held, who I still see one of the mentors of myself. And there was always clear that to have an impact, you need to do things together. And as an association, it's sometimes tricky because there are legal boundaries, what you can discuss, what you can do. But there are so many elements where, in a way, to have the impact, you need certain size of scale. And if we take, for example, the overall apparel or fashion or footwear impact, we are even small as outdoor industry. And then as a big brand, you are even smaller. And then as a small brand, you are tiny. So in a way, if we don't work together, it's not going to work. We're not going to have an impact. And this is always in our thinking. We need to understand the time is over to be symbolic about things. I mean, I think that was already the same with my former roles, where we realized we need to act. We need to do the things. We need to make the step forwards. We can see now that I would say a few years ago, the brands were still leading it. We can see now retailers starting to do clima commitments and going as well in the same direction. And then the next step is, of course, that the consumer even puts more pressure out again, and the whole circle will start again. So there will be need for collaboration. There will as well be some need for pressure in a way on of changing, because not changing is not an option in a way. This is it's both for climate reasons. It's not an option to stay where we are, and as well the market is changing way too fast. It's just not the same it was 3 years anymore. I mean, COVID just swept up a lot of issues which were already there. We knew that the cycles exactly, and as well it made it visible. Before people were stuck in their own old circles, and because it wasn't very clear in your face, you can't hold it. It was a bit just you didn't really talk about it and everybody accepted, you just potter along. But by that time already, the digitalization played such a big role in a way. The way you can access data, the way you can create data, and the way, in a way, this should then influence your decisions to make the right decisions. That already all happened in the background. And we were a bit, exactly, in the sales side, we were a bit like, oh, we just move on in our general circles and try to do it as it was before. And kind of like by the time kind of like COVID hit, it was clear we need to change how we do things, and in a way that gave us all a positive now kick in the backside to move us a bit quicker.
I know that we could talk for hours now, but try to use the like focus time. It would be great. I have two more questions. One is base milestones for Icebug, and the other thing is, where do you focus on for the next month? So maybe we can start on a little intro on what Icebug is, a little fact and figures, and then the holistic pictures, why you have these milestones. I know you have, but you need to explain it to our spectators.
So there are two things we are. In a simple way, we are a footwear company. So we were founded by a mother and son in Sweden, and our original product is a product that makes sure that you don't slip. It's kind of like an awesome product. If you try it for the first time, you go on ice, you don't slip anymore. I would say it's saved a lot of people from hospitals. Yeah, it's kind of like definitely very great in the Scandinavian culture, where people are very open to use something preventive. So that's really a fantastic original thing that happened. The second thing that happened in the change is that we said, okay, we want to give people a sustainable choice. We're not saying we can make fully sustainable footwear, because at the moment it's not possible. All consumption is negative. So in a way, we can't tell you buy the shoe and it's a positive thing you do. The positive, what we want to do though, is that we know that more people are aware that they should limit kind of the resources we use, and for them we kind of like give them the opportunity. So that's kind of the two, I would say, core pillars on what we deliver on the product. On the other side, what we as a brand really want to do is to be a change maker. So we want to lead in two ways. We do examples. We are owned by ourselves. We don't have other people who can kind of like control what we should say.
It's not a group.
We don't have a big corporation behind it, so we can do very free. So we have kind of like a manifesto where we say clearly there are things we don't do, and we will never put profit actually before doing something that hurts the planet. So at the end, when there's a tough decision to make, and I mean, I think this is a good example of what we are doing. We had the chance to save a lot of sales with flying in products. To say like, oh, we have supply chain issues, you need to be quick in the market, that's how you catch sales. But we said, no, we don't do that, because we have the data by now. We know transporting a shoe by ship or by lorry or kind of like those things, you have like half a kilo, maybe 2, depending on what you do of transport. If you ship the same product, you have 10 times that, you have 20 times that. You have actually the same amount of CO2 you have during the whole production of the product. So it's an absolute insane in a way. You double your climate impact just with this one little move.
What's that one move?
Because you want to save your sales. So we can clearly say as a company, no, we don't do that. And we are still a company that's actually making money. So we want to be the positive example that people say, oh, business for actually, yeah, exactly, it's possible. You can follow that. And on other things as well, we want to be a bit of a pain maker. So we want to say kind of like, okay, we started this process 5 years ago. We have the data, it's possible. Come on, guys, those who are bigger, maybe you didn't go there first now, but that's fine. You know, just follow us. We are fully transparent on our products. Every product can be scanned with a QR code. You will know where it has been manufactured, where the different parts come from. So we want to kind of like as well raise awareness about kind of like business needs to be transparent. And not only a certain product, not say, okay, we have the one green product of the month, but say like, okay, we are fully transparent, we are committed not only on the product level, but on the company level, and that's as well what we need to do as an industry. We want to lead that, but we are very happy to share the information, because we don't think that we are big enough in a way to have the right impact.
And I remember David Ekelund, your CEO, sharing already CO2 emission compensation quite early when he started that process. So ideally, to finish our short session right now, or I do need a little market foresight from you, but before that, can you share with our listeners where to find that, like what is the key thing? If you say we share, how could I get it? What can I do? How can I learn?
I mean, if you are really somebody who's using products, just buy an Icebug product, take your phone out. No, it is like that. You don't even need to buy it if you don't need it. Go into a shop or go onto our website. You will find a link. It's kind of TrustRace is our partner for that. You will literally see all the information about the product. We are very transparent about that. And so if you are as well a company...
derivations from that.
Exactly. If you are a company who actually wants to have more information, or as well, we do actually share as well with some other companies who do have their own data. We share data, so just approach us, send us a quick information on LinkedIn or via Facebook or whatever, and we will be happily look into it.
Thank you, Matthias. Apart from collaboration, sharing, and sustainability approach, is there something you want to share within what's happening now, what's in the next months? Where do you focus on? What could you foresee, or what do you wish?
Well, wish is, of course, kind of that we take actually decarbonization serious as an industry. So in a way, what we did, and I would hope for a lot of other brands are start doing now, is really to get this data, or in a way, if they don't have their own data, take data as it is from us or from other brands who did it. So the example I make here is a lot of the companies produce either in Asia or in Far East, and we are part of that as well. And you have actually perfect conditions for solar panels. Mm-hmm. You don't own the factory normally, you own the materials and you bring them to them, and at the end there's a production facility, and that's kind of like the biggest angle we have right now. So from our data, we know that most of the emissions are done in this process of assembling products. Mm-hmm. Because you use coal energy, you use other energy. And this is just the status quo there, so everybody is accepted that. So we started now to actually, in this case, we finance that, even though we don't own the production facilities, we finance that for our partners, said like, okay, we finance just a study that you can actually look for partners to put solar roofs on your roof. We can't tell them really what to do. Yeah. This is not how it works. But we started to do the process, and all of them are looking now into it. Some of them actually, we talked to industry colleagues who helped us to mobilize them, to say like, okay, this is in your own interest. And at the end, from all the data we have now, it is a positive impact, not only on the CO2 for them, but actually financially.
Financially, yeah.
So from that perspective, it's an absolute no-brainer to really follow that path now and try to roll that out wider.
Could keep on talking for hours. Thank you very much, Matthias, for sharing all that information. For the next session I will host here is the brand Salomon, and for now I wish you good luck for the little show today.
Yes.
I hope we meet a lot in the next months when everything is up and running.
Yes, no, it's really great to see people again. It's great to have this kind of like getting together. It's great to be hosted here, so appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.